welcome back. Oh, today is May 1st. That's great, right?
Well, yeah, in a way, but why are there protests in the US on May 1st? Isn't that designated for
That's
Red
universal
China or the Soviet Union?
Soviet Union. Now, if probably nobody remembers what the heck the Soviet Union is because we don't teach that anymore. Half the world doesn't believe that China is a communist country. Don't get me started. But yeah, today's May Day. That's the day when the in Red Square I bet yeah, we'll see it on the news tonight. The media will cover Red Square's military parade
Mhm.
and how much anyway, don't get me going. But May Day was like I remember that growing up in the 70s and then in the 80s and then when the wall came down. But yeah, May Day is it's Red Day, Red Square military communists celebrate the World Day. But I think there is today is like some big protest going on here in the States. Like
Well, yeah, in the US. Why pick May 1st? Why
because
pick
they're
May Day?
communists. They're communists. Why do I you go to Cuba? You know what they're doing well, they can't do it anymore. They don't have any oil.
The lights aren't going
The
on.
lights aren't
Or
going on.
food, or yeah.
Communism at its best. There
At
you
its
go.
best.
Yeah, it just wasn't given a chance to work. That's all. If we just gave it a little more time. Right. Boy, that went somewhere. But so it's
Yeah, great
May.
opening, right?
I love it. I love it. Well, 250th birthday. They probably don't even teach that anymore. United States. It's a constitution, preamble. Anyway. So what's going on today? Well, spring though. That was the point, right? It's supposed to be nice and warm. We're getting into the flowers and the sunshine and summertime. Someone told me they couldn't make a meeting next week and the week after because they're going on vacation. So that's
Ooh,
gonna start up. Gonna be hey, Kevin Frey. So, but I did see Xerox did their earnings
I
2 days
saw it.
ago or
I saw it.
yesterday.
I saw it. I think there was somebody on LinkedIn had something interesting that they could be, maybe they did much better than last quarter.
But
But
if you look at it, did you look at it?
I looked at it and I put a
Yeah,
comment on my site. And actually,
I think I wrote something about it too. But
it was
yeah,
Xerox. Xerox had a good quarter,
yeah.
and basically, where did I put it?
Uh-oh.
I put down the good, bad, and the ugly.
Um,
I don't have it here, but there was a lot of ugly.
there's a lot of ugly. See, I don't know how you could get any good out of it. But so somebody wrote, well, Xerox is the canary in the coal mine. So I don't know if you remember back in the olden days when HP had problems, it was the saying was if HP has a cold, the rest of the industry gets zombie flu, right?
Oh,
Well,
interesting.
now it's Xerox is the canary in the coal mine, and doesn't have much left. I don't know where it's going to go, but
Excuse me. That's right. Somebody said their stock went up to $2.12. Huh. Whoa.
yeah,
From $1.28. Well, if you look at percentages,
That's a huge
Yeah.
jump, actually.
that's
it is a huge jump. But what is it going to be this time next week or this by Christmas? What's it going to be by Christmas? End year.
So I believe that Xerox is corralled in a a business strategy that they can't get out of.
No,
And
yeah, it's too late. It's too late.
they were anchored in the click, and that's the they're stuck in it. That's their revenue.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, when they sold their IP for 450 million, that's it.
Yep.
I found what I posted.
Good.
Let's see. Good. Xerox, what Xerox wants to see: strong top line growth, beat Wall Street revenue expectations, equipment sales up 33%, operating margin improving, cost cutting and integration working. Translation, of course, I used AI to help me with this. They can still generate activity and deals. Lexmark acquisition is padding the numbers and adding volume.
That was the issue.
Yep.
Those are Lexmark numbers.
Yes, they
So
are.
let's see what
The problem is it's going to lull them to sleep to think that the Lexmark acquisition was a good acquisition.
it wasn't.
Here's some of the bad. Pro forma revenue down 3.7%. Core business is shrinking. Post sales revenue, service NPS down organically 5%. IT declining 5 to 6%. Now that's interesting because they just had a press release on Xerox managed IT, which maybe we can get into a minute or so.
Yeah.
If you want to think about it, fewer pages, fewer service clicks, fewer installs in their traditional markets. Acquisition is just like you said, Greg. Acquisition is masking print decline, especially with the Lexmark acquisition. Ugly net loss 105 million. Operating margin still negative, -4%. Free cash flow is a negative 165 million. EPS miss versus expectations. Profitability still off. To put it in other words, they're growing revenue but losing money doing it. Classic buy growth, don't earn it situation.
Yep. They can, the more people they lay off, the better off it's going to be because in the short run, because they're going to kill some of that cost. But I think they've already gone through a ton of layoffs. I don't know how much they got left, but I don't think any of that is a surprise. Even, the positive coverage and the reality, neither one of those are a surprise. There are going to be people that are going to, they'll stay on the Titanic until the very end. So it'll be interesting again. Wasn't there something about HP also?
Yeah. Today, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was going to talk about the one where they're litigating.
Is that it? There was something about HP that hit.
So it's HP and the robotics company.
Oh, well, yeah, that's, production print and Indigos. I thought there was something in our little realm. I could be wrong.
Nothing
more than
catch
that.
Anything this week on HP.
Yeah, well, talk about that, right? It feeds into what they've. It was over a year, maybe a little bit longer, that they HP had partnered with a AMR company to help move the big sheets of paper that Indigos use to print on. And they're huge. They're like, I don't even know how much the piles weigh.
They call it parent stock.
Yeah, parent stock. Thank you. Yes, parent stock, and it's it's not even a full pallet width. It's a weird little pallet, but it's a lot of weight. And now they are remarketing as an HP product line this AMR that can go pick up the paper and deliver it right to where the big paper feeder is for those Indigos.
Actually, put it right in the paper feeder.
Goes right in.
Yep.
I think the Indigos were designed to take it that way, though. So goes in and then it lifts up the pallet, and that's what I can tell. But again, I'm not, that's not my expertise at all. I mean, I don't know that much about Indigos, although I got someone in the business in my family. So you guys probably know about that. I mean, I stop at 100 pages per minute, 8.5 by 11, my knowledge.
Right.
I don't know about it. But it did look cool, right? And it's not, it looks like a little skipjack or a pallet jack, small, without any human integration. There's no jack or anything like that, but it just moves around on its own, lifts up the paper and puts it where it should go. It's pretty cool. But the key there is HP is selling it. All right. And it's designed for Indigo. So, it'll just be another add-on line item for an Indigo sale.
It is adding value to the purchase of an Indigo.
Right. And cutting labor costs a lot.
Well, cutting labor costs, cutting risk costs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure in the previous, without that, somebody's got a forklift. They've got to use the forklift inside or an electronic forklift, which creates its own set of problems.
It's all cost reduction right there. A lot too. Labor, equipment, now you don't have to replace your forklift I don't even know what the lifetime of those. Yeah, very interesting. It's just single function though. I don't know. There might be something else to it. Maybe it can move the pallets around to be staged, ready to be fed. I don't know, but
I was on the website for a couple of minutes, but then we had to get to the meeting, so I didn't have time to digest anything. So, Kevin Frey, did you have something?
No, I was just looking at the litigation.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
They, I don't know enough about it to speak about it, but when you're as diversified as some of these companies are, you know what? I'll make a prediction. I'm going to predict that Xerox pulls out of this.
Bold prediction, my friend.
Anybody want to challenge that one?
Wait, pulls out of the partnership with Lexmark?
I think they're going to pull out of this.
The slump.
The decline. Yeah, the financial decline.
Oh, I see.
I don't think they will.
I think they're going to jettison hardware. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay, keep going.
They're going to jettison hardware. They're going to sell off their base and get an influx of money. They're going to become a developer of technology, which is where they probably should have been to begin with. And they're going to right size their organization absent hardware manufacturing.
Okay, it's been done before.
If they do that, I would agree with you. They've got a shot. If they keep print, I don't think there's any way, and not move forward with the other technology advancements you were talking about.
Okay, so
I don't think it will happen. But go ahead.
Let's do a dive in just for a split second into what makes Lexmark.
Lexmark or Xerox?
Lexmark.
Well, nothing anymore.
Well, what was it?
Printer company.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, they were. They were bad at it though. Did you ever worked with a Lexmark device?
Hell yeah. Tons of times.
It's got a lot of IQ in it though, doesn't it? You
well,
can make
yeah,
it.
kinda. But there's
Okay.
lots of problems with it too. It's very proprietary when it came to some certain things.
Well, they locked it down, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, it was, the one thing I remember is it would read empty when it was still had 50% left in the toner cartridges. Proprietary. I loved them when they were part of IBM, right? The toaster, the impact printers, the 9-pin, the 24, they were really good. Even their very, very first laser printer gave HP a run. But then something happened as they always did, they got bigger and bigger, and then they ended up being niche players like education, medical, auto dealerships, things like that. And they were just not as easy. They were great. Don't get me wrong. Right. I mean, there was HP lasers and then there was Lexmark. And depending on who you asked, right, they were darn close. I sold a grip of those Lexmarks and I loved every single one of them, but there was just some idiosyncrasies I didn't like, and especially when in an MPS agreement. It's like, oh, wait, are you kidding me?
Would you agree that they generated technologies that the other manufacturers didn't?
What? They changed the xerographic process?
No, not the hardware, the IQ.
Well, okay. If they had IQ, I couldn't tell. I don't even think an end user could tell. What IQ are you referring to?
Like when they were the first ones to come up with a device that could scan the students' test scores, and then it would do the simulations and all that stuff.
Yeah, they did some stuff with some ID too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Weren't they the ones that could recognize a small little thingamajigger? Where's our scanning expert on the? Well, anyway, okay, so yeah, maybe they did that again.
Okay.
Kind of nichey, but yeah.
So what? Well, it is nichey when you attach it to hardware. But now look at what workflow is doing. Workflow is decentralized now. It's not centralized anymore. So think about all the things that maybe they have going in there, and that maybe some of that got squelched when 9-Star came along and changed it to a complete whore company, just hoard them out. But when Lexmark was Lexmark, you can argue the quality of their devices or whatever. I mean, everybody does that kind of stuff, but you can't argue the fact that they were in a completely different realm of what they could do in banking, finance, education sectors, medical sectors. They were doing routing before there was software companies that had routing in scanning and imaging.
I won't argue that.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Would you agree so far?
Yeah.
Yes, so far. Yeah. Again,
okay.
Yeah.
So what if Xerox said, okay, there's not the net sum of being in the hardware business is zero. Okay, there's no money in that, and there's less money in supporting Xero. Okay, with overhead, but as an industry, it needs to get out of the model it's in. We need to get out of the cost per click. Okay, and I don't just mean billing cost per click. I mean the mindset that our focus is
the whole infrastructure. The whole infrastructure.
Absolutely.
That's where the cost is too, by the way. I mean, it's a hell of a lot of cost in trying to anyway.
Absolutely it is. You agree so far so good, right?
Yeah.
So what if Xerox said, okay, we're going to take a step back now. We're obviously understand the industry and we're big enough to shape the industry, but what if we just change the industry and make it be what we want it to be, which is IQ, the ability to create workflow IQs that works the way people work today.
I would agree with that statement 10 years ago.
Yeah, but have you noticed that the people they're getting rid of are all legacy people?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
all there.
that's another point. Yes, all the like, and then the guy who was in there temporarily, he self ejected a little bit ago. Yeah, yeah, go on, because that's a good point. If they're going to switch, like you say, they're going to have a whole another set of leadership, C-suite leadership, and then go from there to change the mentality, and then go from there to change the infrastructure.
Right, because everybody knows that if you fire all of the intellectual property, meaning the people that understand what your business is, then your business isn't going to survive. But if you get rid of all the people that are no longer going to be your business, then you've actually done the opposite. You've grown your business. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
I think the best example is look at how IBM got out of hardware back with the Gessner back in the day, because they faced the same problem with the PCs, with the Compaq, and even that's how Lexmark became Lexmark. IBM spun them off.
Right.
Same way with Lenovo and the PC. They got out of hardware and went all the way to services, and it worked, which was unique. But if you look back at their executive teams and even the environment they were working in, it worked because they had the right type of people, and the environment could still survive on software if you reduced all your costs, if you had a good name, like IBM still had a good name. And I don't even think IBM back then, when they switched, sold too much of their IP. They just sold all their hardware.
Right.
That's right.
I'm saying that brother is our brother. I'm saying Xerox is the one that's going to go forward and change the dynamic of the industry.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be centered around print.
Well,
Maybe they should be on this call and listen to you, Kevin.
I'm just saying, I'm watching, I'm buying their stock. So
that's not a bad. I mean,
buying the dip.
Well, I grew up. My mom was an investment banker, so I grew up in this world. So I'm just telling you that they're what they're doing is they're saying, okay, they're not asking for a lifeline. They're not trying to breathe oxygen into a failing model. They're shedding. What they're doing is they're reforming their company, and there would have been no reason on the planet. I mean, anybody would have even Securities Exchange or anybody would have approved a China company being
that's a good,
by Xerox, and then in an industry where they can't even make they can't make a payroll. Okay,
right.
And if you look at what Xerox has been doing for the last 5 years or more, is they've been outsourcing their engines, right?
Oh yeah.
They're not invested in technology.
No, I have an article the day they got out of Geography and then closed all their labs. And then even didn't they close their toner manufacturing plants in New York?
Rochester.
Yeah, 8, 10, 12 years ago. So yeah, they got out and then they subbed everything out. So I got you there. I don't know. Do they have the talent though? They may have the right, there may be a shift internally, but everything from the mouse to all their tech, do they have anything in there?
What if they went to new partners like Intel?
Well,
Intel?
AMD.
Yeah.
That's like the Titanic asking the Lusitania or whatever the other ship that sunk for help.
Well, okay, but thanks just for a second here. What if they're saying that this model is gone? It's deceased.
Okay. That's a big one, but yes, I agree with that. I think we all on this call. So yeah, that model's that's why we're selling robots. Go on.
Okay, so they've been doing this for multiple years now, and nothing's taken them down. So they have something that's holding them over long enough. Okay. Because Ricoh couldn't do it, Canon couldn't do it, Sharp couldn't do it. None of those other companies would with the position that Xerox is in, none of them would have survived this long.
You're right.
Am I right?
You're right about that, because there's a whole nother. Yes, you're right.
And have you noticed that even with all the bad press from Lexmark and the whole thing that's going on with Xerox and where they're at, that market didn't decline. Those Lexmark people stayed in there because otherwise their numbers wouldn't have gone up. So the only way their numbers could have gone up is if they would have bought something better than what they had, right? And I don't think anybody would have listed prior to Xerox buying them. I don't think anybody would have listed Xerox as being in the top shelf company to go buy.
Well, yeah. What was their stock back then? 12 or 15 down there with HP before the Lexmark thing. It was in that range. Yeah.
Yeah.
$12, $13.
Yeah. Yeah. But I here's the thing that you said that I find interesting is, Xerox hasn't lost their seat, have they? They're still on.
Right.
Yeah.
they're not building anything. Their direction isn't the same as us, but they're right lockstep with where the industry is at. So they're holding a very large share. And guess what share they hold? All of the places that every other manufacturer has spent 50 years trying to dethrone them from, and that they haven't been able to do.
Boy, I don't know.
Technology centers, central reproduction centers, they own all of that industry. That market is theirs. Okay, and everybody's they've all taken a shot at them. Okay,
Well,
and they have
to be fair, that market there's a lot of erosion going on in there right now. What you just mentioned, Konica, they're selling machines, and then who else is going up in that mid-range production? Art, Konica's.
Toshiba took on like production recently. They're selling the Xerox machines,
Well, all right,
which are coming from Fuji.
it kind of makes the point, yeah.
So
but
how many hands are out in that feeding stream?
well, I guess though. Go on, Kevin. I'm listening. I like the idea.
So all I'm saying is that what Xerox is doing is they're the first company going to go to the next step. And here's where I think, so listen to this. So if they're first on the tarmac to do this, to change what this industry does, because clearly every manufacturer would agree with them that chasing the hardware and chasing clicks that's not a long term. I mean, even us dealers will tell you that's not going to be long term.
yeah, no, yeah.
Everybody knows it. Agreed?
Yeah, whether they admit it or not, they know it.
Okay, so I've read some articles in Xerox in other divisions of that where they're absolutely looking at these printers as being an endpoint.
Well, yeah,
But IT people aren't. They look at
they
it
never
as
have.
they look at
never
it
will.
as they look at it as a note, right? We just got done with a deal. Penn State just got sued 1.2 million because they didn't meet their certifications for the NIST requirements. So that'll come out.
Who sued them for that? How do you get
Go-
sued for that?
The government.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was there a breach at all, or any
No
impact from
breach.
not? Yeah, just not making the certification.
Just they did the self-report and they were wrong.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Yeah, they either lied or didn't know what they were doing to the government. Yeah, we just had a meeting about it. And I mean, I'm literally sitting there thinking, okay, this is brilliant. If Xerox is actually smart enough to figure this out, shed all the weight, keep the core business that you need to keep your company, the heartbeat running. Okay, on the background, you're completely rebuilding the next generation of this industry. Because remember, Xerox built it to begin with. I mean, I'm not saying all those people are still sitting in the closet legacy.
No.
I'm saying that if anybody said, okay, what we're doing isn't working, let's just speed things up. Let's just go ahead and let's just pull the Band-Aid off. Right?
I like that attitude. Yes, and you're absolutely right. The whole industry is built on xerographic process. Period.
100%.
There's no way you can back away from that. No way.
No.
They've made mistakes with the mouse and all sorts of other technology and shutting down. What did they shut down their labs 20 years ago? Remember what was their technology lab? Their skunk works.
Right?
Park. Yeah, they shut that down. That's part of now they were shedding for a different reason, right? They were trying to triple down, and I think it's an interesting thing, Kevin. Go on. I mean, I think everyone here would root for Xerox. They're them and HP are the last American U.S. company. They are against the wall. That's the Alamo all over again. Can they get out of it?
Yeah, but if they were brave enough to say, okay, what if we just completely took this whole entire industry and recreated it all over again in a different way?
Yeah.
And every other manufacturer would be stuck with the hardware system on that click thing, and it would be years before they could ever respond to that.
They wouldn't. So what would the next thing be, though? I mean, that's the other question. This isn't 1980.
Digital services
like that. Well,
100%.
Yep.
You just nailed it.
What was it?
Digital services.
Digital services, 100%. Absolutely, positively. So here's the catch. Listen to this.
Yeah, what's a digital service?
I'll tell you. I can define it for you.
Good question.
I'll define it for you. Guess what our industry has that the other industries in IT services don't have?
People in the field.
No, we have mechanical aptitude to be able to do these things.
Oh, well, we know that. Yes.
Yes, we have boots on the ground, and we actually know how to go out and work with people.
Go on.
Right? Workflows, assessments, integrations.
Oh, okay. On the sales side. Is that what you're talking about?
On any side. So every IT department, those people can't even talk any lingo besides what's on their server. Have you ever tried to have a conversation with one of them?
No,
I mean,
no,
no
I mean,
disrespect to IT people,
Don
but
has.
they're
you can disrespect them all you want. They don't know that you're disrespecting them.
well, they're very myopic about what they do, and they should be. I mean, that's what they have to be. But what they do is enough of what they do that they're never going to be anything beyond that. There's a clear separation, a demarcation point between what an IT services group does and what a copier slash MPS company slash boots on the ground company does.
You're preaching to the choir.
Okay, so far so good. So think about all of the things that don't look familiar right now, so that no one's looking at it. What if Xerox came in and said, "Look, this is where we're going now. Business happens everywhere. It's happening on sitting on couches, it's sitting on pads, it's working in airplanes. It's everywhere now. It's decentralized." Agreed?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But what does it all have to be able to do? It has to be able to somebody has to be able to disseminate it and propagate it and put it someplace, right? Because we still interact with each other. And the funny thing is you've got governments, municipalities, corporations, enterprises, churches, small people, and in the largest baby booming side that's ever been of mankind coming through right now, and that information is going to be going all through them. So like um, we're seeing healthcare, we're seeing insurance companies, the amount of information they're putting through on the scan side, what we're looking at, what we see,
Yeah.
it is a 6 to 1 compared to output.
Absolutely.
So
That's yes, we know that curve's been going for at least 36 months, and that's just when it got to the radar. So it's probably going on even before then. Anyway,
100%.
go ahead.
So I'm just all I'm saying is I'm nodding my head at everybody saying goodbye Xerox, but I'm in my mind I'm thinking, yeah, not so much. Not so much. This is the same thing that Apple did. Everybody said that all of the outsiders in Apple said when they lost Steve Jobs, and they were right, that they
Mhm.
lost their way and everything else, right? Well,
Mhm.
they did. But guess what? How long did it take Apple to come back? I bought Apple at 68 cents.
Well, yeah, that's when but you had someone like Steve Jobs come
So
back, and then you
right.
had shitty people running it to begin with, so that it went way down. Anyone could have got it halfway up, but Steve Jobs, you're right, he pulled the thing out. I keep going back to that. So where is the Xerox Steve Jobs
I don't know.
or
I'm
Lou
wondering.
Gessner? I don't know if there is.
I'm
You would
well.
know.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
he or she is not there yet.
And that's why the CEO left. Maybe his job was the steering committee to steer this thing to where it
Good
got
point.
Lexmark on board. It got Wall Street calm because Wall Street's calmed down about it.
Yeah, you're right,
Wall Street's not up in arms at all about this.
which is amazing to me. So okay,
It's a tell. Is what it
yeah.
is. It's a tell. Okay, because I absolutely guarantee you. The other thing is they didn't. No one liked the fact that we had Icon in there running such a large share. They basically Wall Street ran him out of that, or he sold it out, made money on it.
COVID
Right.
saved their ass. That's what happened. But anyway, yeah, go on.
True.
That's the whole Xerox HP thing.
Right. So
Right.
it just in my mind alone. I mean, I don't have anything to say it, but I just know that calm
Like
water
it.
runs pretty deep,
Yeah.
and I just kind of know that in the trading world, when things are quiet like this, when things shouldn't be, when things don't appear to be what they are, then normally there's something going on there that's saying, okay, keep your eye on this, but it's keeping that company. They're still in the mix. They're still competing, and they're not even got their eye on this industry anymore.
Well, that's good. Again, 10 years too late, but you're right if they're flexible enough. But I like what you said. Even if you get in now and it's $2,
It's a
even
gold mine.
even if Xerox went away, because Kodak, right, took it forever for Kodak to seriously go away, and it really didn't go away. The brand alone is worth $10 a share or
If you
something
had
like that, right?
if you had 1,000 shares of Apple
Oh,
of
yeah.
when they were down at 50 cents, you would be retired.
Yeah. See, that's a difference. So that's a B2C example versus a B2B. Xerox is still a B2B. I still think it's valuable. Well, no, my mom and
They
dad
are now.
aren't buying
No, yeah,
Xeroxes.
no,
So,
no.
but if they, and here's the other thing, this is like I said earlier, this isn't the 80s or the 90s. There's much more changing outside of Xerox than there is inside Xerox with the artificial intelligence thing, all that stuff, with the way, like you just mentioned, the way people go to work anyway. It's different. It's so different. So they'd have to come up with something. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't. Actually, so the strength that Xerox has is brand identification right now. I haven't been following, so I don't know what their brain share is. I don't know if they've got smart people in or what. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what the value of the name Xerox would be if you were trying to sell it.
I don't know.
The intellectual name would have to be large, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very well known.
It's like Kleenex. And that's the domestic market. Across the globe, they probably hold even more value for some strange reason. Just the name.
But here's the thing that's crazy. When everybody talked about Apple and their demise, they all piled on and said, here's what Apple did wrong, right? And I was talking to my mom at the time. She was still alive, and she said, buy, 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 buy. Leverage everything. Buy. And which I was already doing anyway, but I mean, if my mom said, I'm like, okay, clearly she has, and she's like, they're not talking about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about the outcome of the problem. Always look at what the answers be. The analysts don't know what business Xerox is in. They just don't. I mean, I just read. I'm reading an article in the street, the Wall Street Journal, and it's talking about the CEO jettisoned because he wanted to make sure they still had currency to pay him his parachute. Okay, well that ain't why he left. I think he was brought in for a specific amount of time. His job was to do X, Y, Z. He did X, Y, Z, and they said thank you. Why would a failing company give their head helmsman the only lifeboat on the boat?
It's got a good
I mean, it don't make any sense. Nobody would do that. He got paid out for his services. His job was to make that happen, put it all together, and then we'll take it from here. It's like when you take your car to the service department, you say, I need this done, and then that's your expertise. Great. I'll come back and pick it up at 4. Yeah. Pay your money and go.
That's given the brain share at Xerox an awful lot of credit.
I got a question for DeCarlo.
Yeah.
Do you delve in this world of digital services and solutions and, basically reducing print in somebody's office? What would you envision a digital service company?
Well, I gotta say, as much as I try to convert people to digital services, there is, I would say, the majority of people I work with don't want to change. They love it the way it is now. I don't think I'm not short on solutions. I'm short on adoption. I'm short on people wanting to not embrace change because they like the way they do it now. The business owners that I work with are of a generation that they don't see the value in being completely digitized. Except for then there's some exceptions, and those exceptions are the ones that buy software and that want their businesses to thrive in the future because it's going to have to eventually be digital. For those businesses, eventually you have to you want to pass that on. One of the business owners told me this, that he realizes to pass this on to the next generation, it can't just be papers in a filing cabinet.
No.
For the legacy.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, nobody's going to want to take over a law firm that has 30 years, worth of clients in a Rolodex that they're going to have to, if they want to sell that practice, who are they going to sell it to? Somebody's going to come in and say, how do I look up, the wills and estates that are coming up, next year?
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Spend a lot of time in the file room. I would love to be able to paint a picture for them that says, you got to, the things you did before got you to this point. How do you grow further? And that's where we can help. And I haven't figured it out yet. I got to tell you.
Let me ask you, on the software side, I have kind of a curious question. So remember when there was like a migration, everybody was buying software for this and software for that, and everything was software, right? I mean, Photoshop, everything you wanted to go
Banner Maker, WordStar,
oh my God.
Yes.
Everything.
Yep. WordPerfect in law firms. Yes.
WordPerfect was, the best in, it was even Lotus 1, 2, 3. So yeah, go on. I'm with you.
So in in your industry, because that's what you're selling. I mean, as far as digital
Mhm.
services goes,
Mhm.
what is your read on? Are people like over the software thing? Do they now are there is there a brain drain where they say, yeah, there's probably software that can do anything, but we don't really know how we would integrate it with us? Is it more of a separation of application to capability? Is where the separation is, or is it people say, I've got so much technology I don't need anymore?
They don't want to. They hear the horror stories of trying to. How long does it take to implement a new ERP system or a new payroll system or a new APAR system?
Right.
Even CRM.
Oh, the
CRM
CRM
system.
is the word. Yes.
It's years. Even when they say, "Oh, it's only going to take a couple months," it takes years.
Bullshit.
There's no way to get around that. The software that is just too complicated, and I think it doesn't need to be that complicated. I think it's with with AI. I
It's
think it's a
made
lot
that
of that
way.
software
It's made that way to
becomes.
be complicated so that you can't ever get out of it.
Uh,
Mhm.
That's the way it is. And
you're stuck. Yeah.
it didn't start that way. It started out as a niche, right? I was in the mainframe, the mini to PC
Hmm.
revolution with the accounting systems that were on your mainframe versus these new computerized accounting that were on PCs and networks,
Hmm.
which today is Dynamics. That was Great Plains. I sold
Hmm.
Great Plains forever. I sold them all. So my discussions was very similar to yours. It's like talk to an owner who would say, I have 15 people in accounts receivable. They generate 30, they manage 300 invoices, whatever the hell it is. Why would I ever need a computer? It's the same basic thing. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So until that guy's competitor down the road got a computerized accounting system and
Hmm.
whatever transitioned from 15 people in AP to one, right? That guy became much more competitive than the other dude. That was one thing. But what happened was that when the big companies forced certain technologies down in order to communicate and do business, GM did it with EDI. No one else did electronic POs. No one. GM says, well, if you want to work with you, if you want to be a supplier
Hmm.
with GM, you're going to have to implement an EDI system in your small little screw business in Imlay City, Michigan, with
Wow.
13 employees. It wiped out a ton of these suppliers,
Hmm.
but it made GM more efficient, right? So it's adapt or change. So what I'm saying is people will be like that. They're just, I don't want to change. I don't want to change until my house is burning down. Then I will go buy a fire extinguisher and put it out. But until then, that's human nature. But you're right. Right now, things are different. This AI thing is going to get rid of SaaS. It's going to get rid of all that whole huge infrastructure bullshit that has been here for the last 100 years, right? It has the
Hmm.
opportunity to strip all that away. I don't know what it's going to look like, but that's where we're at. But so even if people say I don't want to change, I don't want to do the digital transformation, it's going to take me 12 months to go from this to that. I get it. I get it. It's not going to work. You're right. You're probably going to lose 60% of your data. You have to bite the bullet and keep moving. That's going to change somehow. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So back to the original. If
Hmm.
Xerox can tap into that, and then not even Xerox, if anyone can tap into that, then they're set. They're set for I don't know what that'll look like. See, that's just it, Kevin. I don't know if Xerox has the talent, or if anyone has the talent. To be honest with you, I don't know where that's coming from.
The
I
street is
think,
I,
the street is betting on them.
Well,
well,
the street is part of the 150-year-old infrastructure. They're looking at Xerox as though it's a 1950s business model, which is okay because that's the way the street is. The street is a 19 or an 1800s business model. So
The,
they're
s- the
seeing
street
everything.
the street has old money and a lot of wisdom, and one thing they're fair weather friends.
Right. Well, fair
So,
weather, fair
so
weather.
if they didn't agree with what was going on in Xerox, they would have dropped them like a bad habit.
I would say that the street and anyone who's in a legacy system, an enterprise, one of the big hierarchies, do not see what's coming.
No,
Because
I
again,
agree.
they're looking through Taylorism. They're looking through the 9 to 5, send your kids to school, get them used to go to work for me, all the way through that whole thing. They're looking through a zero sum economy, which might not be zero sum. So it's like they have no way to identify with that. That's a big picture. I think though you're right. If Xerox can switch and then somehow be more nimble and be a real live digital services provider, knowing that all that stuff is going to change in the next decade, then they have an opportunity to survive. Art, what do you say?
Interesting, because Rico, I think in May, has a very large symposium around AI in Japan. I've read some of the points on that meeting. They've got a lot of talk tracks designed around digital services. And if you go to their website now, they don't list them as a copier manufacturer. Now they list as a digital services company. I still struggle with exactly what is a digital services company.
That's because you're at the forefront of watching it being built.
Yeah, right. So it's
correct.
different for whoever says it has their own definition of digital services.
You build the house from the bottom up, and right now, they're just starting. And for me, I can't see the end result yet.
Well, that's why the innovators are the ones that are doing this. And I just keep going back to, nobody is alarmed about Xerox except people in our industry. Okay. The street is not worried at all. This guy that came in to run Xerox had a stellar reputation. He's not a widget guy. He's calculated. He was able to go talk to the street and say, calm down. Here's what we're doing. Whatever. We need you to give us some money. We need you to have this acquisition go through for this Lexmark to make this grand scheme work. Otherwise, it would have just been somebody throwing on two sinking ships, the one life raft, right? I mean, no one.
But if that was the case, why would they? If that was the case, and moving towards more of a digital services, why would they even spend that money or get into that increased debt with Lexmark?
Well, what Kevin's saying is because of the technology, the IQ that Lexmark brought to the world. That's
but
Kevin?
That IQ is old.
No,
yeah,
I know. I think Lexmark owns. Have you ever looked at their patent number, their patent portfolio of how many patents
they had
they've got?
A long time ago, but is it
they still
the same?
do. Yeah. Okay. And their patents are 17 years. Because they're not all. Some of the technology ones are 10 and 11, but here's the catch. I'm looking at some of those things and I'm like, okay, they didn't buy it because of what they think they can do going forward in the print business. They're already looking past the print business. They're like, we don't care. We can third party it out. We can still be the farmer that owns the farm, but we'll just rent out the farm. In the meantime, we're going to go take that money and use it for this other thing that still has something to do with the farm. Okay. So they still got their hand in the pie. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not saying I do know the answer, but I am 100% sure. I just, in my bones, just that feeling that says they're not going away.
Well, we all hope it works out. I don't know. I think all the pigs have left the blanket.
Okay, and I'll accept that because I don't have anything to support my position for certain. I mean, I have nothing but nobody's calling me up and asking me for advice. But I mean,
yeah, but Kevin, you
maybe
brought up
they
a
should.
good point. I love the criterion. I love it. So I'm thinking, all right, well, I still like the fact that if you buy it at 2 and it goes up to 8.
Yeah, anybody in their right mind would do that, and we don't even know that the 1 to 2 didn't come from exactly that.
Right.
I mean, that bump.
I didn't think about it.
That bump could be nothing more than everybody else saying, okay, we know a little bit more about this, and they're Xerox, I mean,
you could just day trade Xerox.
You don't think there was days where people were day trading Apple just because it was Apple?
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't possibly believe that phone could ever go out of business.
And everyone's jumping on the AI train from NVIDIA to all of them.
Yep.
And they're not looking at Xerox or anyone over there. It's interesting.
I'm just saying, I don't. So Art, so back to this. So I understand your position because I certainly don't have anything to support mine. But since you said that you think that's already left the building, Elvis is gone. What would change? What would you have to see if you were reading things or watching things like you do? You're in the know. What would be a trigger?
I would have to see them put together a symposium among leaders to something similar to what Rico is doing in Japan. You probably haven't seen that press release or read about it, but I saw the press release. I read about it. Um, it looked interesting and it looked futuristic, and they're trying to map out digital services for the future, which also includes AI. If I saw something like that Xerox was doing something like that, um, that would be an excellent start.
Fair.
No, I would say see an even more deeper cut. I don't know how many employees work at Xerox.
Don't know.
You mean at the this is a Friday. You can't ask that question on a Friday.
It's a good question. I'd have to see a brain trust get in there. I'd have to see a lot of layoffs and a lot of shifts. And I'd really like to see who they bring in. They bring in a guy who sells Pepsi, that's not going to work. But if they bring in someone, boy, I don't even know where that good person would come from.
Wouldn't the shift also be if all of a sudden they did, like Kevin said, they all of a sudden shed the print business off
that's what I'm saying.
Off to the other manufacturers.
Yeah,
they took that money and just reinvested that money into.
That's not a bad idea, Art. I mean, the Xerox name still holds. The printers and the copiers are still good. They still have an extremely large client base globally. So
Yes.
they could sell all that shit off to someone who would buy it, who would want to buy that market share. It couldn't be one of the Japanese firms right now because they're just, it's too much.
That's all there is the Japanese firms.
It'd have to be someone smaller that wants more market share and it has a lot of cash, or not, maybe even not that much cash.
Like
Cash
brother.
from Taiwan,
Like who?
Brother.
Could be brother,
or cash from
Zebra,
Taiwan.
or it could be Taiwanese. It wouldn't have to be a manufacturer, would it?
No, it wouldn't. Not at all.
It wouldn't have to be a manufacturer.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't. That's a move, because then that hypothetical purchaser would only go up, right? If Canon or Ricoh or any of those guys that are big, it could possibly drag them down. But if it was someone just getting in, there's nowhere to go but up.
Right.
And then that sheds all that shit from Xerox, and then they can concentrate on being a digital whatever and probably get a lot of money for it right now too. Not as much as they would have 10 years ago, but a lot more than $750 million that they sold their IP for.
Yeah, it's all relevant because everybody's has declined.
Right.
All of our equity is reduced. I don't know. But I have to tell you, Art, if what Greg just says happens, you're disqualified because that's an obvious. That's like an underhand pitch right there. Okay, come on now.
Yeah.
We need to make you need to work for this prediction. It has to be something where we go, you know what? Art had something. I didn't even see that. That was a blind spot. It came right over.
Good one.
Art doesn't have any blind spots, so that's a challenge. Boy, that's really. Could you imagine though what would happen to Xerox's stock if they did that? It would go through the roof
all day.
It would go through the roof.
So if you guys invite me to these meetings and I don't show up, it's because I hit the stock and I'm out.
Hey, I'm almost ready to.
I'm going to go buy 10 shares right now.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
It's just going up. It's just going up. All you can do is win.
There's nowhere else to go but up.
I'm going to put down the stacking of silver and buy me some Xerox stock.
Art, that you can absolutely predict that gold and silver it's like a pendulum. Okay,
that's
everybody.
Right.
You don't even need to put any brain thought to that one at all. There's no experts telling you when to buy stock, buy gold and silver. It's obvious when to buy that.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Now, it's hard to believe. We spent the last 58 minutes on Xerox.
Talking about Xerox.
I apologize. I didn't mean to hijack it, but
No. That's the way it goes. That's not hijack.
I'm just not feeling the sentiment in the room. To me, that feeling is not correct on this.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be way, way different than that.
Well, you got me thinking, and I don't think much.
Okay, so if you would have had, okay, I'm going to give you the last point on this. If they would have brought this guy in to liquidate the company, it would have already been done.
It would have been, yeah, I was going to say, it would have been liquidated.
Right. Okay, he didn't liquidate any of it. He removed, repositioned, and put Xerox in a different place than it was. Mostly what he did was he calmed down Wall Street. He calmed down the investors because it's still big money running Xerox. Don't think it's the little guy.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
There
not.
are
It's
26,000 employees. There you go. So I just
okay.
looked it up. So that's
Yeah. So they're still breathing. Okay. And this guy had a timeline because he would not have gotten his bonus if they wouldn't have been completely agreed upon by the board.
oh,
Do
that's
you
right.
agree?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean,
Who's on the board? I don't even know.
he's
All
not
right.
going to go flip a finger and then say, "Give me my money," right? They said, "Okay, thank you for doing what you did, and you're gone now." Now the next part comes in. So they wouldn't have went through all these labor pains if their job was to go ahead and do because the sum of the apps if you took it right now in your mind and decided you were going to do a liquidation sale of Xerox, it's the value of Xerox is far greater than it when you look at the sum of its parts.
Right. It's one of those. Yeah. Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah,
It's
one
just
of
got
those
a
things.
it's just got a dead weight on one of its components that's killing it, and this guy's just maneuvering to make sure that he gets it out of the way. And then once they get rid of that piece there, they're going to be a very viable company. So I'm just saying, I don't know anything, but
So let's fast forward 10 years. Yeah, no, I know I'm fast forwarding 10 years. There's no printers, there's no scanners, there's no paper. What does the business world look like?
Digital services.
well, Art, that's not a bad question because information still has to move, right?
Information still has to move. People still have to communicate.
Yeah. There's no more historical data. You don't need historical data. You need in real life analog data. You don't need it. This is an AI prediction, right? Because once AI learns how to learn based on the history the last 4,000 years, it doesn't need historical data. It needs live, sixth sense connected data that comes in through a stream. Not because it can already predict based on what's going on right now what will happen in the future. It doesn't need
So-
yesterday's data.
So AI monitors incoming orders.
Everything.
Absolutely does. Yeah.
AI doesn't monitor. AI creates.
Well,
yeah, it runs
well,
it.
it's not AI is not going to.
Yeah,
If I place an order to a company,
you
right?
won't.
There's
you
not
won't.
going to. Well, I'm going to order something from someone. What
The
I'm not going
AI
to buy.
the AI will know what the company needs before you could put the order in, and it will talk to another AI. It won't. That
No.
whole thing.
I want to buy a forklift. Okay,
Why?
right?
What made you
Because
decide to buy a forklift?
I have a warehouse and my forklift is broken.
It's broken.
Right. Okay.
So the AI is
So,
going to know 6 months before it breaks that it's going to break and put the order in.
I got a
4 months.
20-year-old forklift. It's not going to know.
It'll know.
They got a
It'll
stupid
know.
forklift. They get stupid.
My point is that you can go onto a possibly a client's website. You can place your order, and then AI will do the entire routing process, the billing process, the ordering process, the shipping process. There's not going to be a person involved.
No.
That's what I'm saying. There won't be a person involved to make the order, Art. There won't be a
And
person
to route
involved.
the order and the people that route the orders, everything that goes along with it.
There won't be any
Correct.
people. I appreciate what you're saying, but I just found something out very interesting, Kevin, that you might like. Who is the current CEO at Xerox?
The French guy,
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is.
Jacques.
Louis Pasteur.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, Louis Pasteur. There you go. Yep.
That can't be. Well, guess where Louis Pasteur came from?
Where?
Where?
Lexmark.
Icon Enterprises.
Ah.
ICAHN, the same icon.
Okay.
So what they did was they removed the so Icon is still around in some way, but his people are the ones now running it.
It looks like it. Yeah. I mean, he came from Icon Enterprises.
Wow.
I'll be goddamn. Wow.
That would explain why the street wasn't
That's
because
you're right.
he's what worth how many billions is he's like the third wealthiest man in the world, isn't he?
Yeah. So this guy, Louis Pasteur, it's Pasteur, not Pasteur, came from Icon Enterprises.
Okay, now I'm going to buy more shares because honestly, you know what?
Well,
You just answered a very
but
important
everything
question.
we just talked about, right? Icon sheds everything.
Yeah, he wouldn't own it if there wasn't
Yeah.
something.
He wouldn't be in. Yeah, you're right. But he still thinks probably along the lines that we've been just talking for the last hour. If I get rid of everything, there's going to be a value here beyond everything.
So
Okay, I get it. Yeah, Art.
if the idea is to shed, right?
Well,
Does
I
he-
mean,
is
yeah,
is he buying or is he selling?
he's selling.
So
Well, he'll buy what it's complicated, right? He'll buy what the other people who are gonna buy what Xerox is selling. But yeah, go on, Art. Yeah. Huh.
it's interesting. And how about the corporation if they were looking to shed? Would they be buying or selling?
Well, which one?
So
Xerox?
Xerox. Sometimes companies will buy back their stock.
Oh, good point. But Xerox doesn't have they can't do it. They don't have enough money. I
Icon
don't
does.
think they can. Icon does, but I don't know. Now this is a whole nother dimension. A whole nother dimension. Very
Fellas,
interesting.
I'm going to get going.
Okay,
Oh,
John.
come on, John.
I got to go.
Things are just
So
starting to get good.
I will be in touch, and it's great
All right,
talking to
John.
everybody.
Have a
And
good
I'll see you.
weekend.
Have a
Yeah.
good weekend.
Very
Dude.
interesting, Kevin, about this icon thing. I didn't see that connection.
Yeah, I thought he might have bailed because I haven't heard anything, but that would explain why the street is not worried at all. He's definitely up to something else. He's not even.
He's
I mean,
kind of hiding it, because it took us to talk about it for an hour for me to even begin to think about it, to go look and see where this guy came from. And
yeah,
there
that
it
was a
is.
good move because there it is right in front of you. Yeah, they're not hurt. They're okay. Yeah,
They won't
And-
be what they are. That's a
No,
that's a
no.
that's a certainty.
that is 100%. They will be somebody. They will be when they come out the other side. It's going to be something we're all going to go either, wow, never saw that coming, or
Oh, we did.
All
All right, cool. Nice conversation.
Absolutely.
Seriously, that was a nice conversation. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. 60 minutes devoted to Xerox. I'm
Yeah,
sure
but
we're gonna get
so much more, Art. Xerox,
Oh.
it's just a pivot point for the rest of the whole industry and the whole realm. We talked about business,
Well,
stock
you're
market.
absolutely correct.
Yeah, this is good shit. All right, take us out, Art.
It is 5:05. It's Friday, May 1st. We'd like to
happy
thank
May Day,
you.
everybody.
Mayday. That's right. I'm
Happy
gonna go watch
May
the
Day.
Soviets do their military parade.
We'll be back next week at 4 p.m. We want to thank you. Please like, follow, and share, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.